What's going on, people? Welcome back to AFTV. I'm joined by lead judges to give you some breaking news, and I've been doing a lot of breaking news recently. We're making signings, just not. Well, we all want a striker. I keep saying this in every video. It's not a striker, but to me, this is still an important bit of business. The re-signing of Myles Lewis-Skelly, extending his contract to 5 years, so he's here till 2030. He's just signed a new long-term deal at Arsenal, and we're gonna get thoughts and reactions and feelings around it. You said off camera, why is everyone so happy? Like, I expect this is what you expect.
Yes, of course. He's 18 years of age, breakthrough season. I expect Arsenal to renew his contract and get it done. You know, I mean, I think this is just how it should be. So
you don't look at Andrew Alberta and say, "Well done." I'm praising you for getting this done. This is a good start to your.
Come on, are we that desperate on transfers at the moment? Like, you know,
have you seen online?
We're trying to make a big one about this. Listen, I expect this. This is a good deal for Arsenal. It's a good deal for Myles. But at the end of the day, it's one that, you know, he's a young kid. Arsenal through the youth, and I expect us to get this done. Like, I didn't see any danger. I think people were saying about
Real Madrid.
Yeah,
like,
I just see no danger in this one whatsoever, like, you know what I mean?
I am playing devil's advocate a little bit. Of course, like, I expect the players. No, well, you know, I learnt from the man.
Was that from your trip to France? You remember like?
No, I just learnt.
Give you a few tips, is it? Like, you know what I mean? Like, a few tips have been made, have they? Like, you know.
As long as you don't get angry and shout in the midfield, Robbie. Like, this is a calm one, yeah. This is.
Well, that's a good question.
He's been re-signed now. He's got 5 years. Do you see him staying in that position?
No.
You don't?
I do.
When have you seen him play there?
When have I seen him play there?
I'm joking, I'm playing a message.
I have seen him play in a few youth team games, and I actually, when he plays at left back, he comes into that role.
Of course, he seems natural in that position.
And he seems like it would be natural for him to progress into that role, like, you know. And football's changed a little bit where these inverted left backs and right backs are coming into it now, like, you know, but. Listen, you know, he can play. I think he can play midfield.
Would you think? Let's be real. Listen, we're here to break the news. We have to talk about the whole context of it. I think I would like to see Myles Lewis-Skelly I would like to see him in that position in the midfield rather than what I think might happen. Because the thing about Arsenal, it's not being confirmed. Norgard, new midfield. Now we've got Zubimendi. Is there enough opportunity for Myles Lewis-Skelly to get into that midfield? Really, with all those, we obviously Declan Rice still here, Odegaard.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying, yeah, and I do, because I do think that he's one of those players that can burst through the lines with the ball.
Okay.
Which we haven't got. I think like Declan's more of a runner. The rest are passers, but you need someone that can break the lines, particularly in the home games, going past players and then like opening it up for other players.
So is he more the 8 role? Is he more of a box to box then?
Yeah, I'd like to see him eventually probably play that left-sided role, like, you know. But you know, you've obviously got Declan doing that, but you could actually play him on the left, Declan on the right, and then you go, well, you're playing Martin Odegaard. Well, you know, listen, I think that when you're playing at home at the moment, we're dropping too many points at home, so we need to look at that. Myles Lewis-Skelly could be an option for that.
Could be. I'll be intrigued to know. Not that it's nothing to do with me, but the wages that he's now been put on, because I think he's such a talented player. If we reflect on his previous season, obviously breaking into England, scoring for England, even scoring against, breaking through Arsenal, scoring against City, and just everything around him, the achievements he's made since coming through Arsenal. I wonder what he's on now, because I think it kind of sets the benchmark. So obviously we'll have to find out that information at some point later on down the line, because it's only just freshly been done. But he's a player that can, in my opinion, can demand quite good wages. I mean, Thomas Partey's, from time recording, we know that he's exiting now. He was demanding quite big wages as well. Maybe one of the reasons why he might be leaving. I think Myles Lewis-Skelly, for the impact he has, can demand a fair amount of wages, Lee, because he's had such a good season, and he's young though, so it's difficult to how far can you take it? Do you want player power and him demanding high wages because of what he's done in one season, or do you have to keep these young players kind of at a reasonable level? I know Marcia, his mum, had a lot to do with this deal, and apparently she negotiated a lot of what he's got now. But your thoughts on kind of what he could be demanding? Do you think a young player has to stay humble and understand that he's at a big club and you have to build to these big contracts when it comes to money wise, or can he be demanding that?
He's signed a 5-year deal, so I imagine it goes up at certain times and all that, and there will be increments, incentives and all that, But at the end of the day, Myles is very shrewd, as we know, like, but at the end of it, you pay him what he deserves.
Fair.
And at the end of the day, he's England's left back. The future's very, very bright for him. I'd imagine that he won't be asking for 2 hot dogs and an hamburger. You know what I mean? Like,
back in the day, I'll give you a sign on Luke, get a free Lucasade after the game. But for me, I don't drink, so I get a free Lucasade after the game.
That ain't happening.
That was part of one of my deals, actually. Funny enough.
So, like, you used to get like. A bit of travel expenses and things like that. Those days are gone. No, like, listen, he'd be on a massive contract at Adidas as well, because that would have gone up because of the international thing. But he's got himself in the international team. It's England's left back at this moment in time. So I think at the end of the day, he'll be on big money. I think like Wanyeri will be knocking on the door and getting the same sort of deal as well, like, you know. And the fact of the matter is, and I don't care, this is where you go, like, where you say it's good breaking news and all that. The fact is, if Arsenal are not prepared to pay the wages, goddamn someone else is. You know what I mean? So, you know, why? So you have to do whatever the going rate is. Now, I don't think it's great for a kid to be earning 100 grand a week at 18 years of age, but if that's what the going rate is, that's the going rate, like, you know, and that's something now that
someone else would pay that.
Yeah, of course, someone else would pay that, like, you know. And what they'll have to do is, as a family and as him as a whatever, and he does seem like a very humble and well balanced lad as well, like, you know, that he's going to have to handle all of that side of things, like, you know. The big money is there now, you can't deny that. Yeah, it's there. So I'd imagine that he's on pretty good money, and I think, like, if he's on a reasonable thing, like, there will be a thing in that contract where we can renegotiate in perhaps 2 years' time.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Well, for me, I know there's a whole thing online of us saying good business and people getting, you know, going
good
a bit
business.
too far. See, I've seen online people getting angry and losing their head when we're saying that, but. For things like this, it's important. It is expected. I think you started the video right. I think as a fan, I'd expect this to have been done, and it's good that we're holding on to our assets and not just letting them go for little money, and we're holding on to them, and they can be used to in the future to hopefully make us, because our sales have been pouring as Arsenal Football Club as a whole. So I think going forward, to me, that's why I say it is good business. It's a bit annoying that things are still slow right now in the window, but it's nice to see these things, but it should be expected.
And I get what you're saying, it is good business, but business is business, and football's changed. And perhaps I've got to come into the realms that, you know, for me, when I look at it, it is, if Arsenal don't win the league this season coming, is everybody going to go, well, that's all right, it was good, we've done good business? You know what I mean? Like, they're not. No, they're not. You're not going to change your thing, like, you know. Angry, yeah. So, you know, I get it that it's a business nowadays and all that, like, but for me, it's about, can you sign players that are going to get you over the line? Can we go on and win something? Like, at this moment in time, we haven't signed anybody that tells me that we can win the league. But in saying that, bringing Lewis-Skelly in and getting him a new contract, getting the likes of Zubimendi over the line, that's what you need. You need to build and do it properly, like, you know.
Correct. Let me end by reading you some of the words that Myles Lewis-Skelly said after signing contract.
He said it's good business. Let's see if he puts that in
cheeky. He ain't gonna say as a player. He goes, I'm so proud and happy. I know those words are simple, but I think they sum up how I feel signing for this club. I'm a fan, and it's like a dream come true. I've embodied the values of Hale End and come through. I've still got a lot of years ahead of me, so if I can keep staying humble and being a good person, that's the most important thing to me. I'll read this last paragraph. I know I've taken a lot of experience from the games about the positive moments, the mistakes that I've made. I'm definitely more ready now for the next season. I just want to keep learning and keep improving. So that is, I mean, listen, nice words, standard words from the player. I want to end by asking you guys to leave a comment, letting us know who is the best left back at the club for you. On this news breaking, I don't want to put against, you know, our players against each other, but for you, the news the extended contract for Myles Lewis-Skelly, who is the best midfielder, left back in the club?
Who starts that first game? Is what you're saying?
Basically, that's what I'm leading. See, you're
I like that. That's a good conversation because Calafiori, hopefully, will have a nice rest.
Yep.
And then
have a good pre-season.
And then, don't forget, he didn't have much of a pre-season. Do you remember come on halfway through of it? Didn't he?
He came. We saw him.
Where was
he got announced in Philadelphia. And then we was there at the financial field, when in the open training.
Yeah, so that was at the back end of it.
Yeah, and he didn't even start in one of the. I think he came on in a few minutes of the final pre-season game. So he didn't really have a pre-season.
So he came at the back of the pre-season, didn't he? So he's going to have a full pre-season if he stays fit. You know what I mean? That is an interesting thing. That could actually see Myles playing a different position.
Well, we never know. Let us know in the comments below who's your favourite or best left back at the club currently. Like the video on your way out, and that is the news. Myles Lewis-Skelly has signed a long-term contract at Arsenal till 2030. Take care.